ever had something happen to you that you couldn't explain? Like a bump in the night when no one else is around? These could be more than just coincidence. Many have experienced these worldwide. I'm going to share some information on the paranormal with you regarding its history and origins, current examples of it, and the truth and detection behind it. Starting with history and origins of ghosts. Ghost stories can be dated all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia. There were things what they called a gidium, which was taken from the word gig, which means to be sick, and dim, which means demon. These were created at death from people, and they were known to make constant trips to the living, and they were blamed for causing sickness and disease. And here's a picture of the people going on to the underworld. Religion. All religions have their own view on the afterlife. And here's a quote from the Bible, John 4:1. It says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone into the world." Pop culture. Ghosts have been becoming more and more popular throughout the decades, and they've impacted our society in multiple ways. One of these ways is movies. Multiple movies have been made, ranging from comedies to horror movies, such as Paranormal Activity, to Ghostbusters, to even The Exorcist. Here are current examples. This picture was taken somewhere in China, and the interesting thing about it is there's a ghostly figure holding onto this woman's shoulder, and even though the film's been given to multiple different film experts, it cannot be explained for why that's there. Starting with the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. The plantation is home to 12 ghosts, and the story behind it is there's a general named General Bradford who was a slave owner, and he was having an affair, and he had a mistress named Chloe who was a slave. And she was caught eavesdropping on him one night, so he took her and he cut her ear off. And to get back into his favor, she decided to poison his family, and she didn't mean anything bad to happen, she just wanted to make them sick so she could cure them. But his wife and children ended up dying, and when he found out what she did, he hung her from a tree outside. And she's the most famous apparition that appears. And there's a picture of Chloe in the distance, or thought to be Chloe. More locally, there's a restaurant in Dallas called Snuffers, and it's known to be haunted. It was opened in 1979 and worked as a bar. And most of the activity that's been reported is in the hallway right outside the bathroom, where back in the 80s there was a stabbing and someone did end up dying. And finally, the Queen Mary. Queen Mary served in World War II, and there was a known 49 deaths on board. One of the most notable deaths happened in 1966 to a man named John Petter, and during a drill he was running in between engine rooms, and engine room number 13 closed on him and crushed him to death, and he's known to haunt that engine room. Detection and truth. Investigators use multiple tools while investigating the paranormal. Some of these include EMF detectors. EMF stands for electromagnetic fields, and ghosts are thought to manipulate these fields when they manifest. The next is cold spots. when ghosts appear, they're known to draw the energy from their surrounding location, leaving the spots cold, and finally recordings. Ghosts are thought to be heard on different frequencies, so you can't hear them by ear, but if you record it, you can hear them through the recording. There are some people that are skeptical about the paranormal, and not all paranormal activities can be explained logically, but one of their main explanations is from sleep paralysis. And in sleep paralysis, you're still conscious, but your body shuts down, you can't move, and it feels like someone's holding you down, but there's no one there. And finally, one of the most scariest things about ghosts is the idea of possessions, which is when an evil spirit decides to go into someone's body and take control. Probably the most famous possession is Emily Rose, but she was based off of a actual case of possession that happened to a boy named Robbie Mannheim, who was possessed by a demon for several months. And this can hurt the people around them and the person itself, and when the person wakes up, finally, they have no recognition of events. We've seen that the paranormal is a worldwide phenomenon. It's not just the subject of one religion, but every religion has its own view on it. And believe what you will on the paranormal, but remember this: next time you hear a bump in the night, you might not be alone.